Brush feels really good.
"113 miles separate Tempe and Tucson, and today they're being traveled so that two schools can battle in beach volleyball. ASU and Arizona next. It's a 90-degree afternoon at the Old Pueblo. Welcome to Bear Down Beach for beach volleyball. A territorial cup points at stake today in the first of two meetings this season between the Arizona State Sun Devils and the top 10 Arizona Wildcats. With one of the all-time greats to play this sport, Mike Dodd, I am JB Long. There is more than just the rivalry at stake today between the Sun Devils and the Cats.
Yeah, JB, for Arizona, they're ranked 7th in the nation. There's 2 wildcard spots for the NCAA championships, and for them, it's a rivalry, yes, but you want to win all these matches down the stretch to hopefully get one of those wild cards.
Now, at that NCAA level, there's no pairs championship this year, but if there was, the Witt twins would have a very good shot at a national championship.
Well, right now at 16-0, they are looking as good as any team in the nation. 6 foot even, fast twitch fibers everywhere, man. They fly around the court. They play great defense. They've obviously been playing together for a long time, so the communication is there, and they're proving they are just a tough team to beat.
Their counterparts later this afternoon, Bianca Arellano and Whitney Follett, the winningest beach volleyball players in ASU history.
Yeah, and I like this team. I saw them last week up at Stanford. Arellano just all over the court defensively, and Follett, such a smart, high IQ volleyball type player, both indoors and now on the beach, and she's a force at the net. So they're a tough opponent for the #1 Arizona pair.
The temperature is up, the toes are in the sand, and we are set for first serve, first flight of this rivalry. ASU and U of A next.
You're watching Pac-12 Air.
This Pac-12 beach volleyball rivalry matchup is brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. What a day in Tucson to be playing Pac-12 beach volleyball. ASU arrives with a 500 record. Number 7 Arizona at 13-3, trying to continue to play their way into the NCAA field. The first of 2 flights, we will see the 4 and the 5 pairings, and then later this afternoon, 1, 2, and 3 couplings as well. Get a look at Mia Mason and Calais Mao representing Arizona on court number 1. Bethany Wiedepool and Jordan Parnell, their opponents from ASU. So with Mike Dodd, an Olympic silver medalist, JB Long, first of 2 meetings between these rivals this season, a territorial cup point at stake.
JB, I think we should mention right out of the chute, it's 90 degrees on the sand right here right now. So not just the difficulty of the wind and the sun and everything else, but it's really hot right now.
First serve belongs to Jordan from San Diego. And Mason takes 2 cuts at it, gets the side out. Good to see her on the sand today. Last weekend, Arizona played Tyler Lucas and Calais Mao at court number 4, while Sarah Pantovich is away from the team attending to a family matter, and Mia Mason, Mike had to go through the concussion injury protocol. She was hopeful for... Gets the dig, they go over in 2 and grab the first 2 points.
Yeah, Mia Mason looked good at practice yesterday, moving around on the court, and that time making a nice defensive play. You always have to be careful with those concussion-type protocols.
Sun Devils get their first good pass, but come up empty. 3-0 Arizona. Meanwhile, Mao, the teammate for Mason, is the transfer by way of Minnesota, now a junior from Hawaii.
Mao, such an important part of the Arizona indoor team as an outside hitter, really one of their go-to players, and now bringing her talents out onto the beach.
Here comes Parnell. Still looking for the first point are the Sun Devils. These 2 are roommates for the Sun Devils, which head coach Jackie Bunker says can be good or bad. In this case, it's good. It's a positive for their team chemistry. And there's their first point as Weedapole cuts it across.
Weedapole with a nice little cut shot on the left side. Finally, they got their ball control a little better under control with a better set right up at the net. And when the set's there, you can do a lot of different shots.
Watch my line. Come on.
A net contact there. If you're new to beach volleyball, welcome. We're glad to have you. Best of 3 sets and then best of 5 matches to decide this team duel. First 2 sets to 21. If we go to a third, it'll be to 15. Win by 2. They serve Mia Mason. Here she comes again for the Cats. Short on the roll shot.
So Arizona State is kind of letting us know their game plan. They're going to put a lot of balls on Mia Mason right now, and it makes sense. Mason, the smaller player, Mao, such a great outside hitter. They're going to make Mao do the setting. Mason is going to have to suck it up and get ready here in this 90-degree heat to get a lot of serves and be ready to side out for her team.
They choose her again, but deep, so that's an easy side out and a 5-3 lead for these Sandcats. When you're a new team, Mike, when something happens and you get placed with a new pair, what are the kind of the first few orders of business to get on the same page?
Well, it's funny because the psychology of it is you can actually be a little bit excited because you're like, okay, we got a new partner here and let's see how good we can be. Once you get over that excitement, though, you have to figure out the communications and what kind of sets that your partner likes and all those little things that teams that stay together over long periods of time have such an advantage over teams that kind of flip-flop partners because of that very reason, the communication and the teamwork that develops over time.
A wise move there by Bethany Weedapole to go over on 2. Pick up that side out. ASU went 2-2 at the Stanford tournament last weekend with wins over Oregon and Boise. Mike, you were on hand. On the farm. Great new facility at Stanford.
I call it volleyball heaven. I mean, it is just fabulous.
There's a look at Steve Walker, who played at Long Beach State. Indoor associate head coach alongside Dave Rubio, who's in attendance today. And he became this program's first beach coach in January of 2013 and is working to get that corner sorted out.
Yeah, Steve's doing a real nice job. Again, I was at practice yesterday, and the rhythm of practice, how they were mixing in rest and competitive drills and everything that they were doing. He's doing a nice job. I like to see the things that they were working on, specifically beach related. And you know, he was a AAA player. He played a little bit on the AVP tour, so a real nice find for Arizona to bring Steve here to run their beach program.
All that's left in the regular season for his program is this home and home with their rival ASU before the Pac-12 championships. Those will be hosted at USC at the end of the month. And you mentioned it a bit off the top, but with a number 7 national ranking, they're in line for a wild card bid to the NCAA championships, the inaugural NCAAs.
And so winning both of these matches is paramount. And then I think on top of that, they'll have to go to the Pac-12 championships and make some hay there as well in order to garner that wild card spot.
Come on, over line. Come on.
Mason on serve receive again in transition. They send it over on a free ball. Parnell, chance to score off her serve. Good get there. Now it's Weedapole's turn. Rally of the match so far here on court number 1.
Yeah, gust of wind came up and Weedapole shot down the line, just clipping the line.
A 5 pairing also underway on court number 2. It's Haley Devlin and Mackenzie Gillespies against Francis Gudritis and Logan Ray. We'll keep an eye on the results just about 10 yards to our left.
Watch my line again. Come on.
Mason with a big swing. Looked like it was deep.
So again, Mia Mason getting a lot of serves right now over on that right side. Got a perfect set on that last one. Hit it deep middle, just out.
I go. Watch my line. Yes.
Mason there with a nice pickup defensively and finished transition. He coming in on the left side, swinging hard for that point. Like to see that as a coach.
I'm in.
One of 3 freshmen on the court right now, along with both her Sun Devil counterparts.
Right here. High line.
Parnell caught a piece. Not sure if it was Mao off the block or Mason on the way out, but either way, it's a Sun Devil point. And tied at 7 on the switch.
And that was one of those tight sets where you want Mao, instead of going up high, reaching over early and grabbing that ball before it gets hit cross court. One of the big important things as a blocker on the beach. As soon as the set gets tight, forget about the play call. Go for the ball. Go over the net and grab it.
Jackie Bunker is the interim head coach. She's an ASU graduate.
Watch it coming. Watch my line. Go, watch it.
Big block put up by Wiedepol.
Wiedepol doing a nice job of just being the steady player on that team right now, doing a lot of setting for her partner and going up to the net, serving. It's a hard job for the blocker right now in this heat. Got to serve, run up, and put up the block.
Come on.
Set off the net, not much that Mao could do with it, so here come the Sun Devils again, a chance to score. And they've taken their first lead at 9-7 now.
Jordan Parnell doing a nice job of moving around behind the block, picking up the shots, and ASU right now putting a lot of pressure on Arizona.
This freshman from Scottsdale, Wiedepol, has a good float serve. We're seeing some of it early, putting pressure on the receive of Mia Mason.
Watch my line. Come on.
That's the side out that the Cats needed.
Parnell was on it, just couldn't pop it up high enough in the air to get the transition, and you're right, that was a very important side out for ASU.
You're mid. You're mid. Yeah. Jor? Right here. Come on. Up. Yes! No! Nice shot, Jor.
Again, Wiedepol doing a nice job of helping her partner. You know Jordan Parnell is going to get the majority of the serves, and when Wiedepol can go up and poke over on 2 and make those attacks on 2, it just helps her partner save energy.
I got it. Here, watch the option. Watch my line. Come on.
A clean transition there, but missed deep.
That's twice now that Mia Mason has ripped that ball cross court, but deep down the middle. Looking for some hands, but got to take a little bit off that too.
I got it. Here, watch it coming. Come on. No one. Short, come on. I'm up. Yeah.
Not the up that Wiedepol wanted there. It was a chance for the Sun Devils. Instead, the point to Arizona. And Mason back to serve. 9-11.
Wiedepol does a nice job of dropping off the net when that set was back, but just couldn't pick up the little dink shot.
They serve Parnell. She goes down the line. No trouble for the Sandcats. And Mao off the block. It's down for a Sun Devil point.
So far, Wiedepol really making the difference for Arizona State right now, doing all the little things, hitting over on 2, giving her partner good sets, and coming up with big blocks at the net.
So Arizona will use a timeout here, 12-9, after getting off to the quick start. And we'll take it with them. Our first break. 2 matches underway here in the First Flights Territorial Cup Beach Volleyball on the Pac-12 Network.
You done yet?
Home of the Arizona Wildcats. You're watching Pac-12 Arizona.
Thursday Night Baseball on the Pac-12 Network tonight. It features a nationally ranked team. Oregon State heading to Pullman to take on the Cougs. Thursday Night Baseball on Pac-12 Network at 7 p.m. Or you can watch it on Pac-12 Now, pac-12.com as well. Territorial Cup Beach Volleyball back on court number 1. This is Perry number 4, and Mason going down the line to get the Arizona side out. It's 12-10.
That's a nice adjustment for Mia Mason. She's had a couple unforced error that time. She makes a nice approach, but takes a little bit off it and just chops it down the line. Big side out for Arizona.
She was here last summer training with the indoor program, then made the move outside, did Mason. They're still going to have that conversation with her about where her future might lie and where she should devote most of her time.
They're going to see kind of a late drop from Mason and gets caught in what we call no man's land, unable to make that play.
And she's just been off with her attack.
Yep, those are all just kind of those unforced errors. Volleyball is so much a game of errors and mistakes rather than, you know, that there are great plays that come and go, but if you can eliminate your unforced errors, that's really the key to a good beach player. And right now, Mason just making a few too many errors, and that's what's put Arizona behind right now.
Sweet feel to that short roll shot, however, and maybe that's the one to get her going. How much do you attribute to being with a new partner?
Well, I think there can be a lot that has to be said for that, but, you know, for me right now, Mao is giving her very nice sets on the outside. It's not like she's putting her way off the net or really moving her inside or outside. Those sets have all been really nice. That's why she's taken such good swings, but she's just hitting the ball out of bounds. So, you know, I think I put this one on Mia Mason more than the partner change right now. She's just got to make the adjustments, and she's starting to do that. She's hit a couple shots already.
Saw Parnell put one in the back corner for a 15-11 lead. Now she gets the dig. And cross court, Jordan Parnell, the freshman from San Diego. So 5 points separate the Sun Devils and the Cats on court number 1. Let's check in on the 5 pairing quickly with the Sandcats in position to take set number 1 off the block of Haley Devlin. Their lead now 19-9.
Devlin's getting up big at the net at 6'2", and this number 5 teams for Arizona is 12-2 on the season. So, you know, I think for everyone, this is one of those matches that they can feel real confident that they're going to get a point week in and week out with this great team.
See Devlin there. Her teammate is senior Mackenzie Gillespies. They're playing Francis Gudritis and Logan Ray. That's Ray with the roll shot and an important side out for the Sun Devils to keep this first set going. Ray's a marketing major from Phoenix. Only senior in terms of eligibility on this roster. It's a young ASU program.
And it was nice with senior day here at Arizona. They gave her a bouquet of flowers as well, even though she's from ASU. And I thought that was very classy of the Wildcat program to do that.
Big dig off the Gillespie swing. Now it's Devlin's turn. Great gets. Not just too much from the Wildcats despite the best efforts of ASU.
Gillespie's just taking advantage of both players stuck up at the front part of the court, and she's just going to knock this ball over into the open area. Forget the 1, 2, 3. Just go with the 1 when you have everybody out of position.
First set point of the day. And Gillespie's takes care of it. So 21-10, Arizona claims the first set, best of 3.
And that's just a nice combination with Devlin putting up a real nice block at the net and Gillespie's moving around defensively. They had no problem whatsoever.
Back to court 1 for the latest from the 4 teams for Arizona and Arizona State.
Jordan Parnell just with a little dink shot dropping, giving them a 17th point and a 5-point lead right now on Arizona.
Watch it. I'm up. Overline, come on. Yes.
Mason seems to have dialed it in a bit late in this first set, Mike.
Seems like every time Mia's gone to the shot, either the deep line or the short shots, they've gone down for her. So let's see if she carries that on into the rest of this first set.
They serve Parnell. Wiedepoel goes over on 2. Arizona returns the favor. Now the block falls off. And a double touch there by Mason, and ASU gets the point. 18-13. They're trying to close out the first set on court number 1.
So really it's just ball control and unforced errors right now for that team from Arizona. Just unable to convert on their point opportunities.
I'm up. No one. Go. Come on, Mia.
I'm not sure I saw this result after the way this match started. Arizona State falling behind early, but they found it quickly on court number 1.
Yeah, Jordan Parnell, you see her there just doing a great job defensively, and her partner, Bethany Wiedepoel, is just doing everything at the net, blocking and giving her partner good sets.
Yeah, no one.
Another deep error from Mia Mason.
So with this gusty wind that's behind Mia Mason right now. When she hits those deep shots, she's really got to take a little bit off at her. That ball is just going to sail out of bounds.
A tough pass. Arizona in trouble here. Sun Devils will get a chance to clinch this first set.
Swing angle. Come on.
Sweet shot by Bethany Wiedepol into the wind, which was gusting as that pass was made. And 21-13, the Sun Devils take the opening set between the four pairs.
In a world of constant motion,
$10 a month.
Hey, Culligan man.
90-degree spring afternoon in Tucson as we welcome you back to Pac-12 Beach Volleyball. Arizona State and Arizona splitting the first set on courts 1 and 2. Let's join the 5 pair where Devlin and Gillespie's were winners 21-10 in the opening set, and they've got a 4-3 lead in the second.
Yeah, Devlin and Gillespie's that real kind of traditional beach team with a tall blocker, smaller defender, and they really played well together in that first set. Gave Arizona State tons of trouble, made the court really small.
This is Logan Ray looking cross court, and it caught the tape.
Now that's a serious cut shot there. Logan Ray going all the way along the course of the net. You're going to see this cut shot, hard left angle, right on top of the line.
Her teammate Francis Gudritis back to score. Easy dig for Ray. Haley Devlin. Poke shot looking down the line. Sun Devils pick it up. And Devlin misses deep.
Long rally here. You see Gillespie ripping that ball deep cross court with the wind behind her. It just gets blown out of bounds. Ooh.
Right decision there. Looked like a gust of wind carried it deep. Coach Jackie Bunker really likes this 5 duo. They're 7-2 on the season together. Did not show it in the opening set. Looking to force a third. Good block. Gudritis, the sophomore from here in Tucson, went to University High School.
You can tell Gudritis is very athletic. The way she roamed all over the court, got up to the net quick, put up the good block, and a lot of good stuff going on.
Come on. Come on. Yes. I go.
Just enough from Gudritis to get another point. And so it's 7-5 on court number 2.
Arizona State doing a nice job of really kind of taking their lumps in that first set, losing big, but coming out, realizing that this is a brand new, fresh set, and bringing a lot more intensity and good ball control onto the court.
They're serving Gillespie's for the most part. And Devlin takes care of that overpass.
Yeah, Devlin just roaming there at the net. Any type of mistakes with the ball control, she's going to take advantage. There you see that transition set just traveling to the wrong side of the net. Devlin ready.
Helen, go fast. Go, Helen. Get there. Come on, over line, no one. You go, you go. Over, Haley, in. Come on, let's go. Over. Yes.
A total scramble point, and the Sandcats come away with it.
Again, Devlin doing a nice job of dropping off the net, then grabbing the overset. Just keeping that ball alive, and Arizona State's worked themselves back into a tie.
See Deb Rose there, 96 Olympian in the Atlanta Games, played professionally from a number of years. What a great asset to have her as part of the ASU coaching staff on the beach.
Yes, good swing.
And it's easy to see why Francis Gudritis has not been getting a lot of serves. Really athletic, goes up and rips that ball cross court. Imagine Arizona's going to keep the serves away from her more often.
They looked in system, didn't they, choosing her off of that serve. Too much power from Gillespie's, and Arizona gets it back. A good second set going here on court number 2.
Yeah, that was a tough break for Logan Ray. She read it perfectly, right in the right spot, but Gillespie's just brought a little too much heat.
Devlin to serve. She's Tacoma, Washington born, calls San Diego home, went to Scripps Ranch High School, a sophomore for this beach program.
Over, Haley, deep, deep, deep. Yes.
And those overs are just killing Arizona State right now.
Haley Devlin back to serve. She's just such a nice force to the net. She's played a lot of California Beach Volleyball Association tournaments, won quite a few of those. So coming out of San Diego, you get a lot of good beach volleyball experience, and she's taking advantage.
Over her block, Logan Ray scores.
That was a real nice play for Logan Ray, bringing kind of their offensive system into the middle of the court, which opens up that little chop back to the line. Nice little bit of offensive work there.
She had a badly sprained ankle right before the start of the season, and then as she got to full health, her teammate caught the flu, so they've been a bit disrupted here in 2016, just now starting to find their stride. Well located by Devlin, who caught the far line.
And Devlin doing such a nice job of judging. It's a real difficult beach volleyball skill to know when to stay up and block and know when to retreat when the set's off the net. And Devlin's doing a real nice job of retreating and then finishing in transition.
Coach Walker complimenting her on a few areas of improvement, including serve and block. Ray missing there. You can see from our angle how much the wind is playing on that float serve. It's gusting here at Bear Down Beach in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, the wind is just blowing corner to corner from really right into Gillespie's face right now. So she's able to really put a lot of float on that jump serve and have the ball move around.
Go, go.
Ray goes short. Devlin goes over. But there's net contact.
Calling a net on the follow through on Devlin. That's a big break for Arizona State, because that's one of those momentum plays. Great defensive play. Here we're going to see the replay here on the cut shot. Gillespie picks it up, the follow through, and ooh, hard to see. Maybe a micro net.
So instead of 12-9, Mike, it's 11-10 in the Wildcats' favor. In the 5 pairing, we go back to court number 1, where Mia Mason and Kalei Mao are taking on Bethany Wiedepool and Jordan Parnell of ASU. Mason serving for the Cats.
Come on.
I missed the far line, so Arizona gets the point off the serve. They too are looking to force a decisive 3rd set after falling 21-13. Parnell with the dink shots.
That time, Mao deciding to drop off on a set that was right out on the net. And again, that just comes with experience, reading those setters, reading the sets and passes, and knowing when to drop and when not to. And she stays up on that. It's a stuff block, but instead, point for ASU.
Watch it coming. Yeah.
It's been a long afternoon so far for Mia Mason, who was away from the team last week while she recovered from an injury. Tyler Lucas played in her spot as Arizona took a 3-match sweep at the Tulane Pelican Classic.
And you can see the frustration in the body language right there for Mia Mason. It's been a long, hot match so far, getting a lot of serves and really unable to control her shots and hits in a way to side out effectively. So they're going to take a break right now.
Steve Walker working with his group, tied at 9. Wonderful crowd on hand here at Bear Down Beach today. Excellent conditions on this Thursday afternoon.
I think
as classes let out, a good crowd with plenty of students in attendance has gathered. Earlier today, the Arizona Wildcats honored their senior class. Final day of play on Bear Down Beach. Nikki Atia, Kalei Mao, who we're featuring on court number 1. Gianna Bonomi, who we will see in the second flight, along with Kat Scholes also as well.
Just love senior day. You know, all the families are out and everyone has contributed to someone's college life. You know, the 4 years of studying and playing and doing everything, and just a really special celebration.
As you pointed out, a nice touch to include Logan Ray in it as well from the Sun Devils. So second set, 9-all. We resume 4 pairing on court number 1. Serve receive trouble for Mason. I think she was between two thoughts there as that ball, that serve floated towards the line, maybe out.
Well, right now with this wind direction as well, Mia's stuck right now in the most difficult corner of the court to pass from, because that's where all the float serves are heading and moving all over the court. And she might have actually played a couple of out serves just because the ball is moving so much right now into the wind. And they've just switched sides, so let's see what's going to happen now, who they're going to serve. They might keep it on Mao just because that's still the tough side to pass on.
How about that? Back-to-back overhand passes on serve receive.
Yeah, and that was, you know, you got to get...
We'll break at 12-9. Arizona State looking for a court 1 victory.
How many gasoline?
Pacific on Pac-12 Network.
Getting tense in this first flight between the Sun Devils and the Wildcats on Bear Down Beach here in Tucson, Arizona. 2 matches underway. We go back to court 2, which is the number 5 duo for both programs. And after a wide open first set, Mike, very competitive here in the second.
Yes, Gudritis and Ray have done a nice job of really changing their strategy, serving into the wind, serving much tougher and getting points in transition, which is what they needed to do.
Haley Devlin serving. She and Gillespie still in position to take a 2-set victory. And they score off their serve right down the line.
Real nice shot from Gillespie's. And again, hey, right now Logan Ray is in that kind of really rough spot right now on the right side with the wind coming from behind her, which makes the ball move so much, and really struggling to get the side outs over there.
And Gudritis is the primary blocker, but the roster lists her at just 5'9". So 2 undersized players working to get a result for ASU.
Playing a little small ball like Golden State.
There you go.
They do it pretty well.
73 wins, not bad. And Ray giving it her best Steph Curry.
That's a really important point for Arizona State. They're over on what's considered the bad side right now, so be able to get Arizona in trouble and score a point. Any kind of points they get on the side are big bonuses right now, so that was a very important point to keep them connected with Arizona as this second set winds down.
Ray, a senior from Phoenix, went to Sunny Slope High School but started her college volleyball career at Niagara. Easy kill for Mackenzie Gillespie's off the set from Devlin.
Yeah, Gudritis again with one of those decisions which wasn't the right one, dropping with a set right on top of the net, and Gillespie's just tapping it down for another point. Here comes that serve into the deep corner.
Ray handles it well.
Go either. I'm up. Come on, you got it. No one. Yes.
Again with the block off, Gillespie's drops it in front, and now they're within 2 of a straight sets victory.
And Devlin just takes up so much area at the net. It really makes it easy for Gillespie's defensively just to step into that angle, because she knows Ray can't go over the line because Devlin's just getting so high up there. So making it really tough on the Arizona State team to side out with that kind of defensive blocking and movement on the court.
Important switch here at this stage, though, if the Sun Devils are hopeful to extend.
Yeah, if the Sun Devils, this is super important right here. If they can get a side out and get it to 17-19 and be able to serve some balls into that wind, they have a chance.
Devlin's presence at the net.
Yeah,
misfiring there.
Yeah, that's a huge break for the Sun Devils. Devlin had that ball again, overset right on top, but this time went for the big one, and it went out down the line. So this is a big break for Arizona State. They could make the comeback here.
It's Gudritis' turn to serve as she takes the ball and see what she can do into the wind.
We're going to do a nice jump float to get her momentum up to block.
Straight up, I'm with you.
She picked Gillespie's, now the block falls off. And I'm not sure that Mackenzie's made a bad decision all day in the attack game.
Yeah, she's just been moving the ball all over the court. That time a little miscommunication, though. That was right between both defensive players for ASU. They've got to gobble the ball like that up.
Nice shot, Haley.
Ray hoping for a piece of the block. Instead, she caught the top of the tape, and that'll do it. Arizona at 21-10 and 17. Devlin and Gillespie's, they get the first team point of the duel.
That great blocking all match long led to some unforced errors and a big win for Arizona. Get the first point on the board.
The four pairing was in jeopardy for Arizona when we last checked in on Mason and Mao against Weedapool and Parnell. The updated score has the Sun Devils closing in on a team point of their own.
Let's get 18 right now.
Mia Mason to serve.
I'm with you. What it? Over line. Come on.
Now a fortunate kill.
Using the equipment well off the top of the tape and down, and a big point for Arizona. They're going to make a comeback. They want to try to steal a few more points over on that tough side.
We've already seen Steve Walker, the Arizona coach, stop it with a timeout. Now Jackie Bunker and the Sun Devils doing the same, knowing how instrumental this result would be for their overall team duel hopes. Feels like a point they must have, knowing that the Witt twins are still waiting on court number one, the top pairing for Arizona.
Yeah, you've got the Witt twins at the ones at 16-0, Gianna Bimoni and Katrina Schultz. They're 12-3 on the season in the twos. So, you know, if you're going to have a chance, I think Arizona State realizing how critical this fours match is to getting the first point for Arizona State.
If you would, mark your calendar for next Monday. We have a softball game of the week first, and you won't want to miss that. 6 p.m., 7 o'clock Mountain. It's number 22 Arizona State going to Utah. Then right after that game, Mike and Ashley on Sports Report reveal the baseball all-century team. Again, it all starts Monday at 6, Pac-12 Network. You can also watch using your Pac-12 Now app or pac-12.com. Of course, so many of those nominees for our baseball all-century team come from these two programs. Terry Francona, Barry Bonds, JT Snow.
With you.
You won't want to miss it.
Come on.
Here comes Mason for the Cats. She goes short, and she ties it at 17.
Another nice defensive play for Arizona. Mason stepping into that cut shot. Weedapool has been using so effectively throughout this match and getting a big point.
A deep serve, and you wonder if the wind didn't gust and carry it a bit beyond where she had hoped.
Yeah, that wind was blowing right from behind Mia Mason, blew that deep float serve just out of bounds. Again, just a tough break. You know, you score a couple points on the bad side and you have the team in trouble, and boy, you let them off the hook like that. Hopefully they can come back themselves and get a nice side out here. It all starts with the pass. They're on the easier side to pass on, so theoretically this should be a nice ball for Arizona to control.
Weedapool will serve. Mason does get a good pass. And she gets the kill as well. So back to a tie at 18 now. It's a race to 21.
Clay Mao, you could hear her over the microphones giving her the nobody call, letting Mia know that the blockers had retreated and that the net was clear. Good communication.
Come on,
Tricky first serve falls short. Returned by Parnell. She'll take it. 19-18. They take the lead.
Teague playing a factor. That's one of those plays where if you're really ready, you're going to pick that overpass up.
Watch this line. I'm up. Come on, right here. Right down. Sweet cross.
Parnell again.
Come on, like, no.
On to Mason, smart play and a side out for Arizona.
So right here, Mason is on the good side. She's got a nice chance to be able to serve into the wind, get that ball moving around, and pick up some points for her team.
She picks out Parnell with the serve. Wiedepoel over on 2 and hits the back corner.
Wiedepoel been doing such a great job of seeing the court, going over on 2, finding the open areas, helping her partner out. She's doing all the little things that a good beach player does.
Match point number 1 for the Sun Devils. Mason tucks it in. What a gutsy shot.
Wow, that set was 3 or 4 feet off. Mia Mason goes up, hits a great cut shot cross court at match point. Took a lot of courage. Nice shot.
Win by 2 situation here, second set. Mason and Mal looking to extend for a third.
Come on,
What a rally. And Mao puts it down for a 21-20 lead.
Now hovers at the net, that time not retreating, and gets rewarded on the overset with a big kill. And now he's got great wind to serve into.
Biggest gust of the day, and it actually cost her. It robbed her of maybe 3 feet. So into the net to send us back to deuce effectively, 21-all.
Wow, that serve halfway there was looking like it was going to be an ace short, and instead just gust from the gods, and the ball doesn't clear, and here we go, 21-all. This is my favorite part of this team play, when the teams gather around the court when there's one match, and it's so important, and cheering for your teammates, and it's a nice element that you don't see like on the Pro Tour or at the Olympics.
Watch her, watch her. Watch her swing. Overline. Come on, right here. Swing line. Come on,
Parnell scores off her serve. And that gives the Sun Devils a chance to claim their first team point of the duel.
Parnell doing a real good job of just being disciplined, staying in that angle, picking up the shot and finishing.
Watch her cut. Come on, over. Come on! Yeah.
Now they have served Mia Mason all afternoon, and she comes up clutch to send it back to a tie score.
That time Wiedepoel deciding to stay up and block, and Mia Mason just making a nice read and chopping it down the line. Huge side out.
Joy? Right here. Over!
Parnell gets it back off the dig. Now Mason's turn to take a swing.
Go. Right here, easy.
And Mao off the overset again, 23-22 Cats.
That's the second overset Mao's been able to take advantage of, and it's really tricky right now. I mean, the wind was gusting, and then during that whole rally there was no wind at all, and it really is difficult for young players to be able to judge the amount of wind that's out there on the court.
Sun Devils have had 2 set points. Now the second for the Wildcats. 23-all as Wiedepoel delivers.
Watch it coming. Watch the line. No one. Go! Right here. Bring it down. I'm with you. Sure.
Parnell off the dig of Mason, and the Sun Devils grab another lead.
Parnell continuing to play that disciplined defense, again picking up the shot in the angle and just ripping it into the wind. Now a chance for Arizona State to take the match.
Watch it coming. Watch the line. Come on.
Parnell with a huge dig. Now she can end it, and she does. 25-23 in the second set, and the Sun Devils are on the board in the team duel.
Real nice job by Parnell at the end of that set, picking up the dig. And then when you're in trouble and you don't have a great approach, deep middle is always a good solution, and she hits it right there for the match.
So the ASU roommates deliver the first point for Sun Devil Beach Volleyball. The second flight will be decisive.
You done yet?
One last screw
on your car today.
Sun Devils and Wildcats split the opening flights of Pac-12 Beach Volleyball. Court number 1 went to the Sun Devils. Court number 2 went to the Wildcats, and we're setting up the second flight as we do. The indoor head coach, Dave Rubio, is our guest. This is what he looks like for most of the fall and winter in the sports coat. But in the spring, when it's 90 degrees at Bear Down Beach, flip-flops, shorts, and shades. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Well, it's great to be out here, and it's nice to be outside and enjoy the beautiful weather.
I tell you, Dave, when the powers that be thought beach volleyball for women collegiately, I think this scene right here is what they were thinking about. Students outside, everyone enjoying a great arena, a great venue for beach volleyball. Congratulations on that. How much work did it take to bring this whole thing to fruition?
Well, I tell you, the credit goes to the administration. You know, the administration came up to me and they said, Dave, what do you think? And I said, I'd much rather be ahead of the curve than trying to chase everybody. And to their credit, they were willing to invest. And like they do here at University of Arizona, if they're going to start a program, they're going to fund it to allow it to be competitive nationally. And so they hired, an opportunity to hire a full-time head coach and a full-time assistant with a full complementary of scholarships and the resources to go recruit and to travel. And so as a result, this is what you get. In a very short period of time, this is a program that's really risen to a national level. So I'm very proud of the administration for doing that, but also Steve. Steve Walker's done an outstanding job of being able to train the kids and identify the players that are going to really come in and compete nationally.
It is a program-wide endeavor to get out here on the beach during the spring. Several of your indoor players participate as Steve continues to recruit more and more year-round outdoor players. For our audience who might be kind of new to that dynamic, how does that work? How do those conversations take place?
Well, we're still kind of figuring it out, but I right now, the way that I feel is Steve would like a lot of my indoor players.
Of course.
And I think a lot of my indoor players would like to play sand. And so we're trying to figure out the best way to do it. And right now, my philosophy is if the 6 rotation kids that are indoors who can handle the ball and have good aptitude for the indoor game, it's a natural for them to play sand. And if they can spend one full year, one off season with me, then I like to push them out to the sand program and to be able to increase their aptitude for the game. And I love sand for that. And sand is the outdoor game is so much different than the indoor game. The indoor game is such a grind. I mean, it's just we're going through it right now. If you ask any of my indoor players on how tough it is right now to do what we're doing, they would much rather be out here soaking up the sun. And even though it's very competitive and the training is still very high level and it's still very demanding, it's a different feel. And it's a different feel on the body and it's a different feel mentally. But I love how it just makes the players much more complete. They see the game better. And that's really, you see that with Clay Mao, who's going to come back. And we wanted Clay to play sand. And I wanted her to become a better volleyball player, a complete player, because she's a 6 rotation player for us.
Yeah, it warms my heart to hear you speak that way, Dave, obviously, just because I've always felt that the sand game can help indoor players in those bang-bang plays, those instinctual plays, the mentally of just being out on a court without any subs and having to figure out how to get it done on your own. Are you seeing some of that already? Good things from your indoor players that have played a little beach coming back into the indoors and helping in those play sets or those different kind of plays that happen?
Well, the inaugural season was when Maddie Kingdon and Taylor Arizobal, Rachel Rhodes were all juniors, and in order to field the team, they had to all play. So on the indoor side, it was all freshmen. And so Maddie Kingdon and all those guys came back in the indoor season, and it was a dramatic difference. And the difference is, it's like, when you watch tennis, and I watch all sports like we all do, and it's just mano on mano. And there's no one, like in the 6th game, when in the indoor game, your teammate can come in and alleviate some of the pressure. They can scoot over and they can kind of, maybe take over a little more space. Here, that's not the case.
Nowhere to hide.
You're gonna, and the mentality of it. And I'm watching Clay out here with Mia Mason, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Not because whether she won or lost, but because of the mental habits she's going to have to create and be able to enhance in order for her to be able to execute during critical moments of the game.
Well, Dave, we thank you for joining us here between flights. It's going to be a decisive second flight. 3 great matches ahead, and it's going to decide half a Territorial Cup point. Thanks for being with us.
Great.
Hey, Culligan Man.
This Pac-12 beach volleyball rivalry matchup is brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Rivalry match indeed. Pac-12 beach volleyball continues from Tucson, 1 apiece as we go to the second flight. A recap of the action so far. Arizona got the first point with a victory from Devlin and Gillespie's over on the 5 pairing, but then the 4s went to Weedapool and Parnell on court number 1. Both of those matches decided in 2 sets.
And I think, I think if you're Arizona, you're thinking things are kind of going as maybe they expected because they're 5s at 12-2, now 13-2. You kind of knew that they were going to come through for you, Devlin and Céspedes, and you kind of had a new team with Mason Mao. They had played a couple matches together before, but you kind of knew that if they were going to win that match, it was going to be a big bonus, and instead Weedapool and Parnell came out and just really played well, steady.
Mentioned McKenna and Madison, the Witt twins. They'll be on court number 1, the top pairing against Bianca Arellano and Whitney Follett for ASU. The 2s have Jenna Bonomi and Kat Scholes against Sydney Palmer and Quinn Johnson. And the final pairing, Olivia McDonald and Sam Manley for Arizona, Mia Rivera and Madison Barrage for ASU. So as they get lined up, we take a closer look at the undefeated 16-0 Witt twins, McKenna and Madison. That's Madison there. They're nice enough to wear numbers for us. The last time we were here, we had to ask, who was who?
It's interesting, too, because in the sports information, they have Madison at 6 feet and McKenna at 5'11". So I was like, how does that work?
How to decipher,
so I'm looking right now. It does look like McKenna might be just 1 inch shorter.
As Steve Walker told me early in their careers, he used to have Madison wear just a little ankle bracelet just to help him differentiate the 2 of them during training sessions. But they've been nearly flawless this season. They barely dropped a set on their way to this unblemished mark. Arellano and Follett will hope to be the first to defeat them. The juniors for ASU at 12-8 on the season. Still learning the beach game, but they're athletes at the highest level and can give the Witt twins a test. It's Follett at the net.
Yeah, Whitney Follett just kind of jumping into that cross court right there, and you're not going to see Follett do a lot of dropping at the net. She stays up there and blocks, but Arellano's so quick defensively. This is a tough team. This is going to be a good test.
And again, serving on the good side, they steal the first 2 points.
Arellano taking advantage of what's a little breeze right now, but we've already learned from the first flight that it can pick up at any time, and she's still serving into a little bit of a breeze right now.
And her float serve is designed to take advantage of that. There's the first side out. It belongs to Madison.
Madison Witt doing a nice job of just ripping that ball down the line. She's going to be facing a big block this whole match, so see how she deals with that.
McKenna is the full-time defender of these 2. As the block from Madison falls off, it's 3-1 Sun Devils.
Arellano with a nice pass and approach. She has to get a good approach on every play, being the shortest player on the court. Great defender, though.
Follett will serve and block now.
Come on! Yes!
Down the line dig, picked up by Arellano. Madison gets another swing at it. How about the velocity on that swing?
Nice rip cross court.
Witt twins committed to play indoor out of high school, but then their circumstances changed and they were seeking an opportunity to play elsewhere. Coach Walker rolled the dice with them, and they rolled the dice on this emerging Arizona program. It has worked out perfectly.
I would say so. Looking at their record, 13-4 5 their freshman year, 27-6, now 16-0 this year.
A poke shot down for Bianca Arellano. Her 3rd season on court number 1 for the Sun Devils. And they have the lead on the first change. Choosing Madison off the serve. And there's the first imposing block from Whitney Follett.
Well, Follett's been blocking a lot of angle, and again this time she jumps into it, takes it away. That's one. Whitney Follett has such a high IQ. She's just really thinking, watching, great eye work at the net. Classic middle blocker.
Again, with the reach and a 6-3 lead for the Sun Devils.
She's a natural. As soon as she sees that ball's tight on the net, the play is off. She's just grabbing the ball and throwing it back.
Became the first player in ASU beach history to win 30 matches last weekend against Stanford. 32 and counting now. And it is all Whitney Follett.
So those last few points, you know, Follett gets the credit for the block, but those sets are just way too tight against a block that big. Twins got to recalibrate and move those sets further back.
And now a sloppy pass.
Well, interesting, they had been serving all of their balls toward Madison, and then all of a sudden they just put a sneak one on McKenna, and that's good volleyball. That's good strategy. You can't just stick with one player. You just got to mix it up a little bit.
Credit Arellano with these serves. Finally, Arizona able to push one over, and it goes down in their favor to break the spell.
Here we go.
Problem for Arizona, they've been giving up these points on the good side and not getting a lot of opportunities to serve, which they have right now.
Get up deep, deep, deep.
On the oversets, the Wits take care of it.
It's a tough side to set on right now for Follett. This wind is blowing, and it's going to blow that ball over with the slightest misjudgment.
You heard the call for the cut shot, and Follett did just enough to get the point. And so that was a big sequence between changes there. With the better side, to your previous point, the Wits did not capitalize.
Yeah, the Sun Devils did a nice job of scoring points on the bad side, and that really takes its toll as a match continues. Now, for the Twins, the onus is on them is to come over and improve their ball control, get a few good side outs, and try to score a few of their own over there.
Okay. Rolling, yes. Dropping! Get that! Come on, come on. High! Out! Yes!
You can tell they're just having to work harder than they're used to on the first court.
Yeah, right now it's actually Follett and Arellano that are serving the best serves into this tough wind right now and really getting Arizona in trouble from the get-go with the serve.
Even on that pass, the wind wreaking havoc on the Wildcats, who are fortunate to get that point. It'll be 6 serving 10.
Here you see Arellano just kind of moving a little too much right at the point of contact. She should, with her quickness, she should be able to gobble up one of those knuckle over on twos. Again, the Twins missing the serve from the bad side. Hard to get points. Missing serves.
2011 Gatorade Arizona Volleyball Player of the Year, serving Bianca Arellano. There's the side out. The Wildcats needed from Madison. And McKenna back to serve.
Watch it come.
It's about the best set I think we've seen of this second flight on court number 1.
Yeah, that was an absolute perfect set. Arellano showing just how physically gifted she is. That's a deep serve. She gets all the way up, rises, and just snaps that thing cross court. Great athlete.
Clean side out for the Witt Twins.
Much needed clean side out. Hoping to try to get a point here, steal a point, and get a 12-9 switch. Go over to the good side. Conversely, Arizona State, they want to get this side out. Keep the pressure on.
I'm up there. Deep line. Cut. Yes, deep. I got it. You're tight. Left. Shot. Rolling deep line, Johnny. Yes.
They talk about the top-notch athleticism on display for the top pairs, both sides of the net. Arellano and Follett with a 13-8 lead. Timeout at Bear Down Beach.
How many gasolines clean better?
Back in Tucson, where Arizona leads courts 2 and 3 on your right, and Arizona State leads the top pair, Arellano and Follett, with an early lead on the Witt twins in the opening set. So we go back there as they expand on that lead. The block of Whitney Follett, 6'2" junior from Canada, has been the difference.
And right now, Arizona, it's all about ball control. Their passing is fine. It's their setting that they've just been setting each other way too close.
It's a tight pass. The set is okay, but again, Follett able to get a piece. Arizona gets the side out.
I think that just might be one of those factors where against other teams, they're so athletic, the twins, that they can get away with a lot of tight sets because they rise up and hit it around. But Follett is just a formidable block right now.
Go! I'm up there. Low middle. Line! Touch, come on! Yes.
Witt tries to go down the line. Sun Devils over on 2.
Line!
There's another line shot, and this one catches that line.
That time sets a little bit further off the net. Room to breathe, room to shoot. Nice point for Arizona. This is where they can make some hay over on the good side.
With McKenna serving. Update from court number 3, where McDonald and Manly have a 12-8 lead. Whichever program wins 2 out of 3 here in flight number 2 clinches the team duel. And the Sun Devils side out, Whitney Follett.
Follett, nothing crazy dynamic-wise. She's not banging wild angles or anything, but she just goes up, taps it around, moves it around. So intelligent.
She's just catching everything right now at the net.
Yeah, you just look at her eyes. She's got the sunglasses on, but, you know, she's eyeing the setters. Then she eyes the set. Then she turns her eyes on the hitter. It's just classic middle blocking indoor technique, which works wonderfully on the beach.
May have been a sense from the Sun Devils that this was coming, because this tandem had a great week at Stanford as Madison Witt goes down the line. But Coach Jackie Bunker thought there was some chemistry developing between Arellano and Follett in the Bay Area.
Well, I think more, chemistry and confidence. You know, that you can see they're on the court. They're not kind of, you can see it in a team's face when they're facing a team that's really highly rated and they're kind of not competing against them, but just in awe of them and watching them play. This is not what's happening out here. They are competing and battling at the net and all over the court.
Arellano gets the free ball. She in particular, too, having played prep volleyball in the Valley of the Sun with the Witt twins. No intimidation factor there.
Yes, I'm here. Go!
She goes down the line, and despite the diving attempt of McKenna, it's another ASU point for a 17-12 lead.
Well, it's just classic beach defense. You have a big blocker and a very, very quick defender just picking up all the shots.
Well executed by the Cats. And not only are they unbeaten at 16-0, they've only dropped 2 sets this season. Again, another gust of wind carries that serve deep. A miscue there on the attack from Madison. And sometimes the block, once it's established, can have peripheral benefits, right?
Absolutely. Intimidation factor can never be discounted. And right now, Follett is doing a lot of intimidating up there. She's touching so many shots.
There's another. And again, the scramble from Ariano. It must be so fun to play as a defender with that kind of block up.
I think so. It's allowing Ariano to really wait and wait and wait before she has to make a move, because the shots are coming so high over Follett. So it creates a big advantage for the defender in that situation.
Follett will serve and block here, looking for the sets. Madison Witt keeps it alive.
So for Arizona, you have a chance to get a side switch if they can get 1 point off this bad side, and you never know when you get over to the good side, but they got to score this point now.
Come back, come back!
They will not get that opportunity. Bianca Ariano and Whitney Follett send an early message to the unbeaten tandem of McKenna and Madison Witt.
Here we're going to just see more of basically what Arizona State was doing all match. Good ball control, really nice set over her shoulder, and we're going to go over to court 2 and see what's happening with the twos.
Let's introduce Gianna Bonomi and Kat Scholes for Arizona, the transfer team. And for the Sun Devils, Sydney Palmer and Quinn Johnson, a couple of sophomores.
Right now Arizona up 16-12 on what would be considered the bad side, but Katarina Schultz so experienced. Looks like right when we come on, the teams are gonna forgot to switch sides. So this is good news for Arizona. They've got the lead, and now they're going over to the good side.
Say the transfer team, Bonomi's by way of San Diego, and Scholes you know well from the University of Pacific in her indoor accolades.
So this wind's starting to gust now. Watch for Schultz just ripping this ball across court. That's a tough serve. She knows how to use that wind. Such an experienced player. Really a strong twos player at this collegiate level.
That's you, in. Watch it, Kat, watch it. Well, she's up, go high line. Come on.
Best effort dig there from Gianna Bonomi, but it's a Sun Devil point. And Sydney Palmer closest to us. Quinn Johnson, the block at 6'4".
Let's go. Here we go, Bud. First ball. Watch your line here. I'm in.
Coach Bunker was actually looking forward to this matchup because she liked Johnson against Scholes, a couple of big lefty blocks. I thought that was a unique individual pairing within this match.
Well, also the matchup between Johnson and Bomoni. Johnson putting up the big block, but that time Gianna Bomoni just chopping it cross court. Nice little cut shot, keeping the advantage.
You got it. Kat, watch it. She's down, swing hard. Yes! Right now. Come on. You got it. You're all right. We got it.
That time Kat Schultz doing a nice job of reading that set, was off the net and dropping, putting the pressure on the hitter.
I'm in. You. Yeah. Watch it, Kat.
Bonomi serving Palmer. Johnson went over on 2 and gets the result.
Nice spot, Quinn. Way to get
And you can see Katrina Schultz is going to go over and apologize to Gianna Bomoni. She had an easy free ball on that read and just kind of mishandled the ball. Bomoni still almost came up with the shank.
Watch your line here. You go, GGG. Yes! Here we go.
Palmer with a service error to give it back to the Cats, and it sets up set point number 1.
Hey, right now, push one here, buddy. Push one. Yeah, right here. I'm in. Okay. You got it. No, and swing hard. Walk the line. Here we go.
Bonomi didn't get it over, and so this opening set continues for the 2 pairings.
Nice little read for Bomoni. Couldn't finish. He's going to have to finish with a side out here.
Switch. We're on the better side.
Before the Quinn Johnson serve, another switch. Johnson's a great student, by the way. Just want to make mention of the redshirt sophomore from Montana. She was Flathead High School's valedictorian, and her academic prowess continues in the Valley of the Sun now. Exploratory math, her major. She earned the ASU Provost Award upon enrolling.
From Flathead, Montana, onto the sand.
And on set point number 2, the Cats take the opener. So an opening set win on court number 2. The Cats also in front on court number 3. First chance to introduce these pairings. Olivia McDonald and Sam Manley for the Wildcats. Mia Rivera, Madison Berridge for the Sun Devils.
Come on, Sam.
Rivera and Berridge, such a fun team to watch play. All they do is play defense. They occasionally go up and block, but they spend a lot of time dropping off and playing old school defense, that time with a little chop off the top of the net for another point.
Madison Berridge, a junior from El Dorado, California, by way of Grand Canyon, brings the score to 19 apiece.
Coming. Watch it. I got it.
Manley does her best to get it over. Now Berridge. A cut shot from Manley falls short. She's a freshman. And so that sets up the first set point for the Sun Devils.
So naturally they're going to take a timeout. I mean, you're on the good side at 19-18, and Arizona State gets a serve off the top of the net, and then you cut one in the net, and all of a sudden you're looking at losing that first set.
They mentioned all they do is play defense. This is a recent switch to put Rivera and Berridge together. They got more beach volleyball coming your way when we are finished. How about this top 2 showdown from Merle Norman, a foot off Figueroa in Southern California, Pepperdine and USC.
Well, I'm glad we're sticking with the match with the threes, because in lieu of the #1 victory for Arizona State in the first set, if Arizona State can get another set here in the threes on the first, things are going to be looking real nervous for Coach Walker and Arizona.
Mia Rivera leading the way, Madison Berridge behind her. Coaches say that Rivera is kind of their steady Eddie, to your point about defending full time. They're just going to wear you down, wait for your mistake, and either get the point or take advantage themselves.
They really do wear you out, and they just defend and defend and defend. They're both mid-sized players, so they don't have a lot of snap in transition, but boy, do they keep the ball alive defensively.
Set point number 1 for the Sun Devils on court number 3. And the Cats able to keep it alive. The Sam Manley kill delivers.
Just an almost spectacular drop dig in no man's land for Rivera. Now the pressure's on Arizona State. They're on the bad side. Let's see if Arizona can get a good serve here.
Sophomore from New Zealand, Olivia McDonald. What a rally with the set on the line.
Rivera with a great shot, deep middle. Keeping the pressure on. Wow, this match is huge, this first set. We could be seeing an upset.
A long run for the Sun Devils, couldn't get there in that back corner, so Manley keeps it alive again on the set from McDonald, tied at 21.
Let's see if Samantha Manley can get a tough serve off here. They're going to switch sides though, and now Arizona State heading over to the good side at 21 all, going to receive serve. Chance to side out and put the pressure on.
As the block falls off, Rivera drops it in behind.
That's 2 clutch shots for Rivera here, winding down the first set. Berridge back to serve. She's got a nice lively right arm. Let's see if she whips this floater into the wind.
got that side out that they needed to create this opportunity. And they take advantage. Mia Rivera and Madison Barrage on court number 3. 23-21, they get the opening sets. So the Sun Devils are in Tucson and threatening to come away with some upset victories.
Hey there, can I help you with anything?
Saturday on Pac-12 Network.
Back at Bear Down Beach on court number 2, Gianna Bonomi and Kat Scholes looking to take a straight sets victory over Palmer and Johnson of ASU.
I got it. Here we go. Deep line. Watch the cut.
Bonomi looking to cut it and misses wide.
Even with the error, they're up 8-2 and coming off the first set win. It's really looking like Arizona has at least the twos part of the scenario covered for a victory. It's more in the ones and the threes right now that are the big question marks, with both Arizona's ones and threes losing the first set.
And keep in mind, after the first flight, in terms of the team duel, it's 1 apiece between the Sun Devils and the Cats. So this court number 2, as you're referencing, looks like it'll give Arizona a 2-1 lead, but then how does the rest of this late afternoon play out?
To their court, the Twins on the number 1 court have come out and gotten a great start in their second set. So it's looking like that might go 3.
Here we go.
Wind's blowing. Katarina Schultz is just going to have tough serves over there.
Triangle. You got it.
The Sun Devils opt to go over on 2, and Quinn Johnson with an excuse me swing. She smiles as she picks up the point. So 9-3 on court number 2, and that brings us back to the Twins' recovery.
Ariano just ripped that ball down the line. Ref going to come over to check the mark. Didn't need to go all the way. I guess the call was in. Ball just clipped it.
That opening set, just the 3rd all season that McKenna and Madison Witt have lost. They are undefeated at 16-0.
And what a character response, coming back up 15-8 in the second set.
Go line. Come on. You. Here. Deep line.
Seems like every time we watch this court, Whitney Follett can't help but impose her will.
Just so tough at the net. Such great eye work, such great hands. She can get you when you fire away, and she can pick up the shots too. Really got the whole package.
The ball control does look better here on court number 1 from the Arizona side, as we've kind of watched and surveyed.
Unfortunately, good pass, good set, but another unforced error, out hit. You give that. Follett just keeping the pressure on. There's another out hit. And there's 3 points in a row we've seen Arizona State. So, you know, it's one of those scenarios now, even though they were down so far, even if they just make a little bit of a comeback and make this second set tight, they could get the momentum going into the 3rd.
They find a way around the block of Follett, but as we mentioned in our previous segment, whether or not she's catching balls, she's influencing the location and the angles of the Arizona attack.
Yep, putting a lot of pressure on. Imperative for the Twins to get a good serve off here on the good side.
McKenna has the honor.
She's up.
And they take advantage of the free ball.
Look at this lift, just going up high and throwing it down. So athletic.
And so a timeout at 17-11. Top pairing for Arizona, trying to force a decisive 3rd set. Who knows, it could end up being the clincher in this team duel for Arizona and Arizona State.
Go, Cat.
Yeah, over on the twos, what was a big blowout lead at the start for Bonomi and Schultz is now Arizona State's come back to make it tight.
Sydney Palmer serving. Here comes Bonomi.
Court inside out, nice little cut shot on that left side.
Ketchell's back to serve. ASU's coach Jackie Bunker used to mentor her when she was a 9-year-old volleyball player in the greater Phoenix area. Jackie told me she was a threat even back then.
A lot of skills. Wow, the wind really starting to whip up right now.
What was a simple dig just got blown away into another court.
It's really...
So Bonomi and Scholes with a lead in set number 2 and up a set in the 2 pairing.
Go to pac-12.com/contact provider and request it. Catch all the action on Pac-12 Network.
Friday, the Golden Bears head into the Valley of the Sun Devils in a conference matchup in Phoenix. Friday at 7 on Pac-12 Network.
Home of the Arizona State Sun Devils. You're watching Pac-12 Arizona.
Some late afternoon drama setting up for Pac-12 beach volleyball. Things can change, but as they stand right now, Mike Dodd, we are heading towards a potential third and decisive set on court number 1.
Yeah, line.
Follett's on the attack. She extends it at least another point. But the duel is tied at 1 apiece, and right now Arizona is in position to get a court 2 victory and ASU a court 3 victory. That would tie the score at 2 apiece from the team total, and it would mean that court number 1 would decide the duel. And the Witt twins just missed with that attack. Madison wide. She thought she caught the block. No, I think she's pointing up the line.
Looked to me like it was wide, but this is one of the heavy angle block. Wasn't touched, that's for sure. Couldn't tell from this angle.
They're going to require at least a 4th set point.
So again, this is one of those situations where ASU was getting beaten very badly, and all of a sudden they've got 2 quick points. If they can steal a couple more, even if they don't get the comeback win, they get a little momentum going into the 3rd set. If you're the Twins right now, you just want to go up and finish this.
Ariano serving. The Cats. There's this side out to win the 2nd set. And we go to a 3rd. 21-14, 21-15. And if the other courts hold, this top pair could decide the duel. Coin flip to decide side and service on the 1 pair.
Going to 3 in the 1s. Who'd have thunk it? 16-0 Twins getting pushed to the limit by Ariano and Follett.
Let's check in on the latest between McDonald and Manley and Rivera and Barrage for ASU.
This is just a pivotal match for Arizona. They really want to win this one. Make things easier, take the pressure off their number 1s.
To my eye, it looks like it's tied at 10 now after ASU was in position early to maybe grab a 2-set victory.
Barrage and Rivera are just so scrappy. They just never seem to be out of a match just because they play such tough defense and have such great shots.
It's Manley serving.
Come on. You got ball right here.
Sent over by Rivera. And that's down for a Wildcat point. They take the lead at 11-10.
Technical, please. Going to be a technical timeout over there on court 3. They're going to take a break, but that's a big point for Arizona. They're going to head over after the technical to the good side and a chance to score some points.
While they break, let's go to court number 2, where the Wildcats have a 16-12 lead 2nd set, up a set.
Wildcats are up, but Arizona State's on the good side. They could reel off some points right here.
Bonomi on the attack. She misses deep, and I get a volleyball. Is this a souvenir, or do I have to give it back?
Bonomi probably would like you to just hold on to it. She doesn't want to see that ball for the rest of the match. But this is a tenuous spot now for Arizona as well. They've got a nice lead, but they're on a really tough side right now, and they're going to keep those serves on Bimoni. Good touch. Just can't transition. It's one of the hardest plays for a blocker when that dig is coming straight over their shoulder and they're kind of spinning off the net. They can't really see the court. Really tough play.
Sam, you still serving.
Scholes to serve. And Palmer missing on the cut attempt, so it's 18-13. Scholes mentioned she's by way of the University of Pacific. Wanted to go to a sand-only program to round out her eligibility. Has grandparents in Tucson, so she's actually staying with them while she continues her education and her volleyball career here at U of A.
Yeah, it was a real nice situation for her. I know she was also a very, very good indoor player, and I think she had just had, at UOP, she had enough of indoors and wanted to just play sand only. I don't think UOP was in the position to offer a full sand scholarship with the state that their beach program was in at the time, so she made the move here to Arizona, and wow, look at this. She's playing in a beautiful arena and getting a lot of support from the university, and all good.
Teaming with another transfer, Gianna Bonomi, looking to close out a straight sets victory. She caught a piece of the block. It was down anyway. There's a kill for Scholes, and they're within 2.
Schultz just has so much experience. Boy, the one player I would not want to get the ball into her hands in this win, because she really knows how to deal with all the elements.
Serve Quinn Johnson. Scramble, the Sun Devils cannot get there. Could you tell, did Scholes knock that over, or did it carry on its own momentum?
It looked like Schultz just got a little piece of the ball before the Bimoni dig. Here we're going to see it. Just a little tick, and that was enough to throw off the pass from Johnson.
Arizona has its first match point on court number 2. And that's it. So another team point for the Arizona Wildcats. For the moment, they have a 2-1 lead in the duel against the Sun Devils. A 13th win on the year for Bonomi and Scholes together, and so that means it comes down to courts 1 and 3. And back on court number 1, we go to a third set. The Witt twins against Arellano and Follett.
It's going to come down to a game to 15.
Follett with a wicked backhanded elbow twisting cut shot.
Every point they can get over there on the tough side right now is good for Arizona State. This is where the traditional kind of blocker defender helps. When you're on the bad side, it's easier to score points because you already have that nice setup. You're going to see Follett coming to the net. Ooh.
A serve.
Wow, what a big play. What a big serve. So Follett's going to try to do another line-to-line jump float, get up there and be menacing, which she has been this entire match.
They go over on 2, so free ball to the Witt twins. Can they take advantage? Instead, Arellano gets a chance.
Calling for a touch, but Follett says no. Arizona State, again, scoring points over on that bad side. Just kind of had 2 really good opportunities. Couldn't do much with it, but kept the ball in play and kept the pressure on. Follett at the net, always putting on pressure.
So that ends the streak. There's the side out Arizona needed, but that's a good run of serves for Whitney Follett, whose serve has been a positive and a negative at times this year. Sometimes she scores points off of it. Sometimes she's a bit rushed getting to nets. That was a good run for ASU.
A crucial run, because they made that side switch, I think, at 4-1. So they had picked up 4 points on the bad side to tie it up on the 5-5 side switch.
McDonald and Manley for U of A trying to force a third set in the 3 pairing. Unreturnable serve for Madison Witts, and the Cats take the lead on the top court.
So interesting. I don't know if you can feel it, but all of a sudden this wind has shifted. It's coming from behind us now into the face of the Arizona players. They're putting some tough serves on Follett.
A long run kept alive. Well done. Follett's again. A lot of effort, no reward for McKenna and Madison Witt.
Yeah, but the reward could come in momentum, because plays like that, when your partner goes all out over the banner trying to make a play, sometimes that just fires your team up. Look at this play. Up, over the banner, lay out, and come back and play defense.
And now the side out to kind of consolidate some of that emotional momentum you were talking about.
Exactly. There's whenever a player makes a play like that, even if you don't get the point, it can fire up your team in a big way.
Yes!
Clever shot there. Whitney Follett.
Steady Follett off of a perfect pass from Ariano.
She has been to China with the indoor Pac-12 volleyball delegation back in 2014. And again, winning points off her serve.
Follett really hitting a nasty line-to-line jump float right now, putting a lot of pace on it, hitting it at a high point. Twins having trouble handling that serve. Got to figure it out now. There's no time left. It's 8-7. We're going down to the wire.
Arizona does one of these final two pairings. The Sun Devils need both to claim the duel. Side out, Wildcats, Madison Witts.
And we know that Arizona won in the twos, so they're up in the match 2-1. So we keep an eye on this court one. Also a steady eye on court 3, because Arizona State won the first set there, and they could finish out that match as well and tie it up at 2.
That's it, yes.
A good swing there by Bianca Ariano, the junior from Xavier College Prep in Phoenix.
10.
So crunch time here on the top courts. Can Ariano and Follett hand the Witt twins their first loss of the season? Madison has other ideas.
That's a nice set, nice snap. And here we can see what's going out on court 3. Really close with Arizona State and Arizona. Arizona with the 1-point lead.
She's up, cut it. Cut here. Coming. Come on. Here. Left. Go!
Good recovery by the Sun Devils.
Huge pokey from Ariano, just going over the top of the block. And again, Arizona State, they're just not out here to try to look good. They're out here looking for a victory, competing.
Keep an eye on both courts 1 and 3. The duel yet to be decided. Wildcats need one more team point. The Sun Devils have to find a way to win both matches. Using the block, the Wits pick up another point.
Geez, Follett just put so much pressure up at the net there. That time the Twins carving down the line, getting a touch. Huge touch.
McDonald and Manley in the near court, looking to side out for a 19-17 lead. And they've got it.
McDonald just going up and ripping that ball. That's one of the downsides with never blocking. When the set gets on top, it's a big play. And wow, look at Follett.
She just stuffed McKenna Witts for an 11-10 lead on court number 1.
She has just been so solid on all the really tight sets where a lot of blockers get tooled or stick with their play. She's just reaching over and taking everything away.
Another point for the Sun Devils over on court number 3. Double Bach action here at Bear Down Beach to decide a Territorial Cup half points. Tied at 11, the 1 pair.
Huge hit from Madison over there on the right side, squaring up and ripping it down the line. Oh, wow.
This service deep on court 3.
It's going to give Arizona the chance to serve to take the second set.
Let's go over there for set point number 1 for the Wildcats. McDonald and Manley with the ball on the court.
This is a nice position that Arizona's in. They're up by 2, so they can serve tough and try to close it out here. And if they don't, they can try to close it off with the side out.
They serve Mia Rivera. Picked up by the Wildcats. Manley put it up for McDonald. And that goes to the Wildcats. It was wide, and so they go to a third set on court number 3. 23-21 and then 21-18. Quickly back to court number 1. Again, this could be the decisive court if Arizona can get the win. McKenna and Madison Witt with a 13-11 lead. Coach Steve Walker with his top tandem. That first set was only the 3rd they have dropped here in their junior season. They rallied 21-15 in the second.
Now scoring a couple of big points on the bad side. What a move by the Witt sisters. If you're Arizona State right now, you got to be on that sideline thinking, let's just relax. We're on the good side. Let's get this important side out, because they know that they can go over to the bad side and score points. They've already done it a couple times on this team. So the big question for Arizona State right now is ball control. Can Ariano and Follett take this serve and make a good pass, good set, and get the point?
Mike Dodd zooming out just a little bit more, too, from the team context. You described this as a near must-win for their NCAA tournament hopes, maintaining this top 10 national ranking. A lot at stake here for the Witt twins.
A lot of pressure.
Follett gets the first attack, and she did not waste any time. Straight down the line, back within 1.
So the good news for the Wildcats, they're coming over to the good side. The bad news is Follett has been getting a lot of blocks on that side as well, and she's going to go back with that tough line-to-line serve that she has and see if she can make the pressure become even more.
Wind gusting again here at Bear Down Beach as she does go back to serve. McKenna sets Madison, and it's deep. You can see the Sun Devils on the back of the court reacting to that call. 13-all. Follett chooses Madison Witt, and then stuffs at the net for the lead.
All starts with tough serves. Those passes are finishing in the middle part of the court, and that's a tough ball to hit. Follett moving into the cross court, taking balls away. Timeout, Arizona.
So they break at 14-13. McDonald, Manley, Rivera, and Barrage over on court number 3, just getting started with their third set.
Thank you. Let's go. One pass, one pass.
Mia Rivera from Gilbert, Arizona, where she won a state title indoors as a prep. Back to serve.
No one!
Manley with a touch shot for the first Cats point of this decisive third.
A lot of pressure on this team. If Arizona State on the ones manages to pull the upset of the year and beat the Twins, it's going to come down to the third set in this match for the overall bout.
Big play at the net. Olivia McDonald, the sophomore from New Zealand, gives the Cats a 2-1 lead on court number 3. We'll be back there in a moment. We have to decide court number 1. Some real danger for the first time this season. McKenna and Madison Witt in jeopardy of losing for the first time.
And boy, you train and train and train, and it all comes down to plays like this. This is where, are you together? How's it going to work? Real tough situation. Love to see both teams go at it.
Must have side out. It's Madison. Now Ariano. What a get. Is it over? Yes, and down. And the Wits stay alive.
What an effort. I believe it was McKenna Witt that just laid out and picked up the dig that was heading toward the net to keep the ball alive. And that's what it is, boy. You play together, you stick together to the very end, because you never know.
that close to a Sun Devil win. Now Follett and the Sun Devils have to earn it straight to the back corner, and they retake the lead.
Well, how about the character for Follett? She's the one that got turned around on that crazy windy play and didn't make the pass, and now comes back and rips that ball down the line. Great stuff.
Ariano serves. Match point number 2.
I got you. Right here.
How good is this?
It's as good as it gets right here. Both teams refusing, battling to the end. What a nice snap cross court that was. 15-all.
So on the change, now the Sun Devils have the favorable side on the serve receive. McKenna back to let it go.
Ooh, just wide. Just wide.
And they want the chair to come down and take a closer look. They're staring down the line at that ball mark.
Okay, that's something you've got to forget about instantly, because if you carry that into this pass, you could mess up the whole match. This is time to refocus for the Twins. That ball was just out.
Follett to serve.
Touch it.
McKenna keeps them alive.
So let's keep track now. That was 2 match points they've had a chance to swings on. One on the other side, one on this side. Let's see if Arizona State can side out again. This is great volleyball. What it's all about.
Madison's turn to serve. She picks out Follett.
Touch. Coming over. Deep line. Go. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Go.
Both sides going over on 2. In transition, the Cats swing it.
She's off. Go. Hit that.
Follett not once, but twice.
You see a little emotion and maybe frustration with Follett not being able to close it out on the other 2 opportunities. She's gotten herself a third right here, going up to the net, determined.
So far, the Cats have had all 3 of their must-get side outs. Do they have another? Madison down the line. Yes, they do.
You see Ariano there, frustrated. You know, it's funny as a defender, you think they're going to shoot line and you even make a move, and then all of a sudden you outthink yourself and just kind of pause. That's what happened to Ariano on that play. Another big side out here for Arizona State. Can they do it?
McKenna serving. Goes Follett's way.
Line dropping.
Set was off the net. Here come the Cats.
Here.
Ariano cut shot, and it caught the line.
Wow, what a stud. Ariano just holds her ground so well defensively. Here we're going to go. Tight set, little cut shot. Boy, right on the outer edge of the line.
How many lives do the unbeaten Witt Twins have in this decisive third set? A handful of match points for the Sun Devils.
Oh, Ariano hanging out there in the middle. Got behind Follett and couldn't react to the dig. Follett doesn't drop very much, but that was a great opportunity to drop, and they just got confused defensively. Big break for Arizona.
Madison standing float serve from the favorable side.
She's on. Down.
Not too good a set for Follett there. That's tough to stop. McDonald and Manley might be able to do it themselves from the team standpoint. Pair number 3, they're up 10-2 in their third set. But what a tandem duel we have going on court number 1. They clean and tighten the lines before Bianca Ariano brings match point number 6.
Boy, this is just great stuff out here on court 1 with the ones.
Their ball control has essentially been nearly flawless. I mean, they've had to make every single pass and set, and they have. Ooh. Follett will be lucky just to get it over here. And for the first time in seemingly forever, McKenna and Madison have a lead. They get their first match points.
So let's see if Follett and Ariano can respond in kind and keep this beautiful match going.
She's up.
Follett does it. 20 up.
Deep middle. Sides are going to switch. The battle continues. This is great stuff. This is what the game's all about.
Double box format here, so we can keep an eye on court number 3. McDonald and Manly lost their first set 23-21, got the second, and now dominating the third.
Line. I'm here.
Ariano all over that shot.
Her attack is deep, and advantage Wits again.
Boy, they had a great opportunity there to get the advantage back to their side and be serving for the match, and instead, Twins have another chance.
Pull it safe, she's there. Get that!
They fend off 6 match points and stay undefeated. McKenna and Madison Wits on court number 1.
What a battle. Great stuff.
Thanks, Dave.
And with that victory, they clinch the team duel for Arizona as well.
ASU wins the first set 21-14. Arizona comes back for the win 21-15, 22-20. Arizona with a 3-1.
What clutch stuff from McKenna and Madison. We go to court number 3 for the conclusion.
And it's looking like that great ones match might have not even mattered much, because McDonald and Manly have just taken total control of this third set. So looks like Arizona's going to pull a 4-1 on this match bout. Great win for the number 7 team in the country to keep their hopes alive.
McDonald sets Manly.
Not yet.
And Barrage gets the kill.
Arizona State threes living to fight another day. Scrappy squad throughout the course of this match, giving McDonald and Manly all they can handle. Just looking like McDonald and Manly really tightened up the lug nuts and got things under control in the third set.
Rivera back to serve. She is set to graduate this May with a double major, criminology and criminal justice.
Right now, Sam. Right now, Liz. Yobo, right here.
Match point number 2 for the Cats. And Manly puts it away. Well, it will go down as 4-1 Arizona, but you have to peer a bit deeper inside the box score to realize just how tight this really was.
It really is neat the way the format works itself out. There was the ones and the threes. It was going to come down to that, and it could have really, just 1 point one way or another, could have been a different situation.
Number 7 Arizona keeps their postseason hopes intact. They've got one more road trip to Tempe, a rematch with the Sun Devils before the Pac-12 championships at USC. That's actually where we are going next for more Pac-12 beach volleyball. It's a top 2 showdown between Pepperdine and the Women of Troy. We will take you there next. For Mike Dodd, JB Long, enjoy the rest of your afternoon of Pac-12 beach volleyball.